My name is Emily and I am 33 years old. I am a mother to 3 beautiful daughters, Lily, Sophie, and Mia. They are my entire world, the reason I wake up every morning and push forward no matter how difficult life gets. I love them more than words can express, and everything I do is for them. Life has never been easy for me. I lost my mother when I was very young, and that pain never truly faded. Then years later my husband, the man I thought I would spend my life with, walked away from us. Our youngest daughter, Mia, was just a baby when he left. He didn't just leave our home. He left our lives entirely. He never called, never sent money, never asked how his daughters were doing. It was as if we had ceased to exist in his world. From that moment on, I became both mother and father to my girls, raising them completely on my own. I have no family to help me, no big house to shelter my children comfortably, and no extra money to make life easier. We live in a small apartment and every single month I struggle to pay the rent. Every month I worry about bills, about food, about whether I will be able to keep providing for my daughters. I do not have a college degree, which limits my job options. I do not have a stable, well-paying career. But I do have determination. I refuse to give up, no matter how impossible things may seem. To survive, I work as a taxi driver. It is not my dream job, but it puts food on the table. I do not own a car, so every month I must rent one, using a portion of my already small income just to keep working. I spend long hours on the road, sometimes driving from sunrise to well past midnight, picking up passengers and taking them where they need to go. Some people are kind, offering smiles and polite conversation. Others are rude, treating me as if I am invisible or beneath them. Some passengers even refuse to pay, leaving me at a loss. But no matter what happens, I keep going. Have no choice. I need the money. I need to feed my daughters. I need to buy them clothes. I need to pay our rent. I work when I am exhausted, when my body aches, when my eyes burn from lack of sleep. I work even when I am sick because missing a single day means falling behind on bills. There are moments when the weight of it all crashes down on me, and I want to break down and cry. But then I look at my daughters as they sleep. Their small, peaceful faces, their gentle breathing. It gives me strength. I touch their tiny hands, kiss their foreheads and whisper, "I love you." They are my reason for everything. I want them to have a good life. I want them to be happy. I want them to have the opportunities that I never had. But life has a way of testing us in the cruelest ways. One cold evening I was driving my daughters home. The weather was terrible. Dark skies, heavy rain, and dangerously icy roads. The streets were eerily empty, and the dim glow of the streetlights barely illuminated the path ahead. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my hands trembling with nerves. From the back seat, Mia's small voice broke the silence. "Mama, I'm cold," she said, her little body shivering. She was only 5 years old. "I know, sweetheart," I replied gently. "We'll be home soon." I turned on the heater, but the car remained cold. My chest tightened with worry, but I tried to focus on the road. Just a little further, and we would be safe at home. Then suddenly, blinding light, a deafening crash, sharp, unbearable pain, and darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was staring at a white ceiling. The beeping of machines echoed around me, and the sharp scent of medicine filled my nose. I was in a hospital. I tried to move, but pain shot through my body. My head felt unbearably heavy, my limbs weak and unresponsive. And then, memories of the accident flooded back into my mind. My daughters, where were they? Panic surged through me. I tried to speak, but my throat was dry and raw. My voice barely came out. "Lily, Sophie, Mia." I struggled to sit up, my heart racing, my entire being screaming for my children. Then a nurse approached me. She looked kind, but I needed more than kindness. I needed answers. As I slowly opened my eyes, a gentle smile greeted me. Her voice was soft, almost soothing. "Don't move too much," she whispered. "You were in a bad accident." A sharp pain shot through my body, but that wasn't my biggest concern. My heart pounded as fear gripped me. My daughters! My voice was weak, barely more than a whisper. "Where are my daughters?" She reached out, placing a warm hand over mine, her touch reassuring. "They're here," she said softly. "They're safe." Tears welled up in my eyes, a mixture of relief and desperation flooding my heart. I needed to see them. I needed to hold them. Moments later, the door swung open, and 3 small figures rushed in. "Mama!" they cried, their little voices filled with emotion. They threw their arms around me, their tiny hands gripping mine, their tear-streaked faces pressing against my cheeks. I couldn't hold back the sobs that escaped me. I wrapped my arms around them as tightly as I could, ignoring the pain in my body. I didn't care. I just wanted to feel them close. Then the doctor entered the room. His expression was serious. My heart sank. "You have a broken leg," he said, his voice calm but firm. "You'll need surgery. And you'll need time to heal." Panic swelled inside me. Time. I didn't have time. "But I have to work," I blurted out. "I have to pay rent. I have to feed my daughters." The doctor sighed, his eyes filled with sympathy. "You need to rest," he repeated gently. But rest wasn't an option. And then something even worse struck me. A wave of dread washed over me as I remembered. Car. The rental car. It was destroyed. And worse. Far worse. I had crashed into an expensive luxury vehicle. The owner was demanding $20,000. Had nothing. I was broken. My hands trembled as I covered my face, sobs racking my body. My daughters clung to me, their own tears falling. I felt utterly lost, drowning in hopelessness. Then something unexpected happened. The next day, my story spread across the internet. People read about me. They saw pictures of my daughters. They saw our suffering. And then kindness happened. Strangers, people I had never met, sent money. They wanted to help. And then came the phone call. A deep voice spoke on the other end. "I heard your story," he said. "I want to help you." I hesitated, fear creeping in. "Who are you?" "You'll see soon," he replied. 2 days later, a group of people arrived at the hospital. They came with flowers, warm clothes for my daughters, and gentle smiles. Then a young man walked in. He had kind eyes. Eyes that held no judgment, only warmth. He sat beside me and smiled. "You don't know me," he said. "But I know you." Confusion filled me. "Why would you help a stranger?" His smile deepened. "Because I can." Tears spilled down my cheeks. I don't know what to say. He reached out, lightly touching my hand. "You don't have to say anything." Days passed, and then something unbelievable happened. The young man and his team paid for my hospital bills. The weight on my shoulders began to lift. But that wasn't all. One day they took me and my daughters to a new place. House. Big, beautiful house. "This is for you," they said. I stared at them in shock, my voice barely a whisper. "For me." They nodded. "You don't have to pay rent anymore. This is your home." My knees buckled and I fell to the ground, overwhelmed by emotion. Cried. My daughters cried. We held each other, unable to believe it. "Is this real?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Yes," they said, smiling. "It's real." I hugged my daughters tightly and whispered, "We have a home." One day, the young man sat beside me again. "What is your biggest dream?" he asked. I wiped my tears. "I want to open a supermarket." His eyes sparkled. "Then let's make it happen." And he did. Months later, I stood in my very own supermarket. Shelves stocked with fresh food, warm bread filling the air with its scent, and happy customers walking through the aisles. I was no longer a struggling taxi driver. No longer a mother drowning in debt. I was a businesswoman. I was strong. I was happy. I will never forget that young man. He changed my life. And he taught me something priceless. Kindness exists. There are good people in this world. And sometimes miracles are real. I started with nothing. Now I have everything. Home. Job. Happy family. Thank you, my dear subscribers, for being here with me. Your support means everything. I hope this story touched your heart. No matter how hard life gets, kindness and hope can change everything. Stay strong. Believe in good people. Never lose faith in a better tomorrow. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon. Take care and see you in the next story.